everyone. So last year I had the absolute privilege of running the London Marathon. I did my best to document the experience of running it and then shared some things that I would change if I were to ever run it again. Something that's very unlikely, but you never know. Now, I did lots of preparation, whether that be physical training or reading about people's experiences to try and prepare myself as much as possible. Despite that, there were still some things that people didn't tell me about. Some were really good tips that I want to share with you today, and some things I had to learn the hard way on the day of the marathon. So here are 6 things that I learned during the marathon that could probably save you a lot of pain. Hopefully, if you're preparing for a race, whether that be a 5 or 10k run or a marathon, these should prepare you a little better and put you in good stead to have a smooth sailing race. So let's get started. Number 1. There will be no toilet roll in the Porta cabins. Now, I'm talking about the London Marathon, but I'm pretty sure wherever your race is, you will have Porta cabins at the start of the race and then at checkpoints all throughout. Whether it be for nerves or just because you're paranoid, you will have to go to the bathroom at some point. So will thousands of other people. So don't think that you will magically avoid it on that day. Come prepared. Now, nobody warned me about this one, but thankfully my paranoia worked out. So definitely bring some with you. And even if you don't end up using the bathroom, you'll probably use it to wipe your sweat off as you're slowly dying to the finish line. Number 2, there are moments in the race with no crowds. Now, when I watched all the videos of people running the marathon and showing the course, you would always see massive crowds cheering them on, and that is definitely present. And the atmosphere is an incredible source of energy when you're running and you really need that push. But a marathon is very long, 43 kilometers in fact. So there will inevitably be bouts of kilometers with not much crowd, if any at all. And it'll just be you, some other runners, and your mental game to keep you going. Make sure you have something to keep you distracted. Some people love to run in silence, others listen to music or audiobooks. Whatever it is that you do, have something to keep you busy because you might be bored at some points. Number 3 is just my personal experience. It might not be the same for everyone, but try not to walk. So when I inevitably got tired of my jog, especially in the beginning because I started at a pace that was too fast, which everybody told me not to do, I then started walking to compensate. And when you start walking, the pain just hits you. It's so much worse than when you're jogging. I was really not anticipating that, and starting to run again after I had walked was much more difficult than if I had just kept my steady jogging pace. So the advice that I would give you and that I would apply to myself if I did it again would be to keep your pace as steady as possible. And if you go a bit too fast in the beginning, that's okay. It's inevitable with the adrenaline rush. But instead of stopping or walking, try and just rest by slowing your pace down but keeping a jog going. Because I'm telling you, that restful walk was very deceiving. Number 4 is to accept the fact that you will probably be very emotional during the race. Obviously, that depends on the kind of person that you are, but whatever that may be, I think you will probably be an emotional wreck. And that's normal because a marathon is a very taxing thing. So don't be surprised if you start crying in the middle of the race, as I did, because that's just normal. It's your body that's exhausted and your emotions that are all over the place. What did it for me, I think, was the absolute exhaustion and the audio messages that I had prepared from my family members beforehand. I had had the idea of running a kilometer or a mile for every person that is dear to you, which I thought is a really good strategy. I didn't maintain it throughout because I was just distracted, but it does help keep you going. Instead, I had asked my family members to record little messages that I could listen to when it got really hard. So I think it was the combination that led to the emotional wreck. But just embrace it, you know? I suppose there's nothing to do about this except know that it will probably happen and that it's okay. This race is a challenge. You are bound to hit multiple walls, hopefully more mental than physical, but it's definitely a mental struggle. So whatever happens, just acknowledge the situation, what you're feeling right then and there, and keep going. I know it doesn't feel like it, but it will end at some point. Number 5 is chafing. Now, if you are a runner, you might have experience with this already. And if you are a very fast runner, then you may not have this issue. But for us mere mortals who take a couple of hours to run the race, you need to be prepared. So in order to avoid the most painful chafing of your life, make sure that you wear comfortable clothing that's well fitted to you and that you're comfortable in, that you've already tried beforehand, and apply more anti-chafing cream than you think you will need. Then you'll be okay. And finally, number 6 is cramps. Now, this is entirely my fault. Everybody says it. Make sure that you stretch after the marathon because otherwise it will be much too painful. And so naturally, that is absolutely not what I did. If you don't invest those couple of minutes after the race stretching, it's up to you. You can do what you like. You've just ran a race. You can relax, but just know that for the rest of the week, you're going to be in severe pain and it will not be pleasant at all. So if I could do it again, I would probably do the stretching that everybody advised me to do. And I think it would have made the rest of the day much more pleasant. So there we have it. Those are the things that either nobody told me or I didn't clock until the day of the marathon, and hopefully you won't make the same mistakes and you will be much better prepared for your race. I hope you found this video useful and that it will save you from pain. If you have any other tips, make sure you share them in the comments down below. I hope you have a wonderful day and I will see you in the next video. Bye! I have a migraine. I haven't had this much pain in my legs ever. I'm trying not to cry, but I have 400 meters left.